start recording it, so you've got a record.
Yeah.
Let me just see.
It's quite a big group yesterday. Do you find it useful?
Well, actually, it ended up only being three of us.
Oh, okay.
Me, Roxanne, and Hilda. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, it's not giving me the ability to give you access, which is weird. Keyboard shortcuts, end meeting, help. About normally.
Yeah, it's normally quite straightforward.
Yeah. Really weird. Normally, it's in the little in the little thing up. What's that?
What options are you given if you click on my name on the left-hand side?
Ah, fantastic! It's over there now because it used to be on the little. You should be getting it now.
Yeah, I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for that. Normally, it's up on the right-hand side, but maybe it's updated. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to have changed. The quality of my PDF that I'm about to upload now is quite low.
Okay, that's all right.
I'm using a Bookwrite blurb to
yeah.
the layout, and until I'm, when I'm finished, I'll actually do a print. But until that, it's just the low res version. They charge. I know I could just design it myself, but they charge $4.99. I don't know for your PDF, which is a bit of a.
Just for a PDF, they charge that.
I know. I've got Creative Suite. I could quite easily do it myself, but I think it's just convenience.
Yeah, fair enough. But are you designing a book for the project anyway?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how many modules in are you? Are you the same as me?
This is my fourth module.
Okay, so you're one module ahead of me then.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, I'm really finding it. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's hard work, and juggling the time sometimes is a bit mad.
I agree.
Yeah, it's really stretching me and pushing me, and sometimes I find it makes me quite anxious. Especially when we get to start, get into the middle of a module, and you think, "Blimey, I've only got 5 weeks left until."
Yeah, it's time to crack on. I think it's difficult because I don't know. The expectation is that we do 20 hours per week. But I work full time. It's just really difficult to find the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. It's really stretched me. I mean, I'm quite lucky because I work as a photographer, so it's not like it. You know, my head's kind of in. My work head is also the similar head, if you know what I mean. I don't have to switch out of work mode and get into photo mode.
Yeah. So I've got a few different. These are the images for this unit. Obviously, you've seen a few of them because you were in a group with the PowerPoint. I've added a few more images. What I'll do is, if you don't mind, after I've gone through these, I'll show you some of the stuff from the previous unit, because my hope is, in the end, to have it as one big book, kind of with all of the subjects, the comments, which I haven't added to this yet, and kind of just a little write-up by myself and a breakdown. That's kind of my end goal, hopefully. What I try to do, which I think I may have communicated in the previous meeting, was I try very much to add a little bit of vibrancy to the images by way of shooting with a strobe, ensuring that it's kind of really vibrant, and then I boost it in Lightroom afterwards as well, to try to add a little bit of colour, because I think colour is really important in Caribbean culture. What I also try to do is kind of the constructed portraits, and it's one of the things I've debated about. It's really difficult to retain that authenticity, but I want some authenticity, so I try to have the conversation and get the subjects to relax as much as is possible. which is difficult when using a strobe because, as you can imagine,
sure.
it's continually, it's firing, it goes off.
Yeah.
I've been asked to kind of move away from it, and I've considered it, but I've kind of ignored it. What I have decided to do, as you can see, is include details from around the house. So when I upload some of the stuff from previous units, there is none of this. It's just the subjects and kind of my opinion on the subject. So the cabinets with the good plates that never get used, not even at Christmas.
Wow.
The traditional artwork, the painting, kind of these are things that I think it's really important to document as well as the people. I think they're kind of important in a different way.
Have you cropped some of these from landscape to square?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I think I like the cropping actually.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I do.
So that's the last of my current module so far. What I've actually got someone, like I've mentioned, who has agreed to take pictures. They're based in Derby, but my wife's nan passed away pretty much
What?
the day after our presentation last week, and so
Oh man, I'm sorry.
thank you. So because of that, I obviously have rearranged, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm here to support.
Yeah, sure.
So this is not the most recent that I'm about to upload now. It's the module just before that, and it's a continuation, but it's the print quality is obviously much better. Confirm.
Did you have who's your tutor? Is it
Semro, is that or
Gemma? Yeah. Okay, not Claire.
No, not Claire. I'm pronouncing it correctly, aren't I?
Gemma.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the previous. This is one of my favorite images from.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's really well with the other one, with the guy in front of his fireplace.
Yeah. I just like how colourful it is and how colourful she was. She was full of character. When I got to her house, she said, "Oh, make sure you make me look sexy." It was a lot to it. So she was lovely. This is not the most up-to-date version because I've got placeholder text, and obviously that's been So I wanted to actually show you the most up-to-date version because then you could also see the accompanying text, so you'd have a little bit more of an idea of exactly how it is. I've got it saved somewhere. So the entire idea of being based in the living room is that I feel on unit 1, my tutor was, what's her name now? I can't know her name, but she's a really good photographer, and she discussed how one of her projects she focused on the bedroom of teenagers, and that was because she kind of felt that the bedroom was it was symbolic of their personality and their characteristics. Kind of the area where they spend a lot of time. It's massively important to them. It's so closely linked to their identity, and I feel as though the same thing applies, but it's a different room. So, I mean, it might be the same regardless of culture, but in Caribbean households, typically the living room is where everyone will come together or used to. I suppose it's changed now with first generation British people, but it's where everyone will come together. Kind of, we used to gather around, play board games, and growing up, we didn't have a large amount of money, so it was like a social hub. And also, again, it's it's the same thing. I want the colour because I believe it communicates a bit about Caribbean culture, but I also want kind of just to document the kind of regular occurrences, the things that I see over and over. But I'm just showing you the final module. I do have another one, but I'm not gonna get into too much of your time.
All right, man.
This one actually has the text, so you can get an idea. It's not a huge amount of text because I want people to look at the pictures and kind of formulate their own opinions and
Yep.
take their own fancies, kind of thing. But at the same time, you know, I am biased as well. I want to communicate a warmth. I want to communicate a vibrancy, and I want to kind of humanize my subjects. So although it's documentary photography, it's not completely unbiased in reality. In fact, it's I say not completely unbiased. It's very biased in reality, if I'm honest. I suppose.
So I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all because you know we all bring our own, you know, not agenda, but you know, ideas to things, and you know, obviously for you, there's a whole history and heritage about the Winter generation, which is, you know, I mean, they were treated shabbily, so it's fair enough if there's a bit of anger behind it and a bit of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. I think that's completely justified personally. You know, it's not like you know, it fits the project. It's part of the project. It's, you know, there was a national response that was angry, so and right, so you know, so
this is actually my father.
all right.
To polls, and he wasn't kind of interested. I didn't really speak about it too much because it's a bit of a kind of a tense thing. He wasn't really around much during my upbringing, which is probably another thing that's associated with Caribbean culture. He's a bit of a womanizer. He's all over the place. He factory owner, so he was relatively successful. He had a bit of money, which probably made it even worse. So the quote, he moved over in '66. He described the weather as it was muggy and cold. He landed at Heathrow. So he had family who picked him up, but they moved away. So it was a completely different world when he came over. He wanted to come over to his parents, who had come over first. He came over with two sisters. So essentially at that time, there was 3 children on the plane traveling to the UK. So the people were okay. When they came over, we had a lot of black people in the community near us, and we were used to the white people because there were white people in parts of Jamaica. Got a job as a press secretary, employers. I think that there's shared blame. I've just realised that there's a typo there.
Typo here.
Yeah, so people had the opportunity to become British citizens at one point. It was free. I understand this that some people were illiterate, but they should have got help. So I try to ensure that the text remains as close as is possible to the language, even though the typo wasn't there. I'm considering different ways of presentation, but it's going to be print. So, I mean, I'd love to, if I did exhibit, play perhaps just clips of the interview because I've recorded.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
but not certain on that yet. So each of the images just has the
I like that one, the one with this without his shoes on. I really
yeah, thanks. So yeah, so family, my older sister, she passed away, which is why there's a large picture of her.
Right.
I think the images that people most complain about is the ones whilst they're in the middle of saying something and you can see the mouth and whatnot. I love it. That's what I want.
I think it's great when people are talking because they use their hands. There's more, you know, they're more alive. If they sit and they pose, you know, I don't, you know, some people have created work where people are deliberately sat and posed. In fact, Roxana's, some of hers they're very still and very posed. But actually, you know, it's much more about people. You can hear people telling the story that you've got written beneath. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, thank you. Sim, so I travelled to Derby to meet this gentleman. Really small apartment, but he was really, you know, his story was fascinating. He'd been in and out of military, and there's quite a few examples of that. And he was just really kind of knowledgeable about the entire situation, about everything. So his stories, our stories usually told from a British perspective, and we're rarely allowed to tell our story ourselves. I moved over to the UK in '61. I worked for 2 years and I joined the army. I didn't have much education and I thought the best way to educate myself was to join the army. It was a cultural shock to me. I was 19 when I joined. I was ambitious and determined, and I tried very hard to get into the position I ascended to in the military. The first time I missed out on eye again, I encountered racism, was when I failed a test for a role in the military. The guy doing the test basically said that all you Jamaicans are stupid. I don't think he thought that we were capable of doing the job. People used to say very ignorant things, but with each generation, things improve slightly. It's still there, but people just don't say things to you directly. So, I mean, I kind of asked him questions about his opinions on the Windrush kind of scandal, what he thinks about it. Not everyone thinks it's down to racism, and some people do. It's interesting. I watched a documentary recently on it where they spoke about the paper that was drafted up before. I'll have to find the name of the documentary. It was a BBC documentary. And they kind of openly admitted that they wanted immigrants to come over, but they only anticipated that the European immigrants would kind of remain in the country afterwards.
Oh, back in the 50s and 60s, you mean, after the war?
Yeah, after the war, which is a shame. They wanted the Caribbean people to come over and kind of have a stay of 5 years, I suppose, which is what has kind of caused the problem. But
still very colonial mentality, that one, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it was. I do think things have changed and improved dramatically. So this guy,
they're great. Just to say, sorry, Richard, the living rooms really do work.
Thank you.
Nothing more than I saw, last week.
Yeah,
they're really. It's really good with the they become part of the person.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, it's a really good choice.
And they are really colourful, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But it's quite helpful as a viewer that you go, oh, we're in another living room here. This is really helpful. It's like continuity, even though it's different people.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. That's kind of what I was going for. So it's great to hear that. So Dean, we used to go walking regularly. I'd go with my brother and sister. His brother he's got a show in a theatre called Black Men Walking, and it's just about going. It's about his experiences when going to different locations and kind of encountering people. I haven't watched it yet.
Is it on now? At the moment?
Now, yeah. I'm gonna go along. I'll just post the link for you.
Where's it on?
It's on at the Eclipse Theatre, but they've toured, so they've been to a few places.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
So we used to go walking regularly. I'd go with my brother and sister. We went to the Peak Districts. We did a 3.5-hour walk. There was a historical event that occurred. It involved someone getting shot on location. It was a long time ago, and that led to people being given legal rights to walk across private land. It was a long walk. We came across this place selling eggs. The chickens were very interesting, and so I said I'd get some. The guy who owned the chickens was there. I asked him what kind of chickens they were, and he said Russian Orloff. We then began to talk, and he said he had 2 black women walk past here last year. And he said, I said to them, you wouldn't throw me out of bed because I'm white, would you? Which I thought was hilarious when he told me that. He went on to say that people shouldn't be so prejudiced. At the end of our conversation, he said to us, those women from last year, they weren't your sisters. I just thought, wow, okay. It's interesting because, I mean, it's such a large subject area. This man is obviously trying his best to be friendly. He's got no intention to offend anyone.
Yeah.
He's still saying some kind of very prejudiced things, isn't he?
Yeah.
More through ignorance than kind of through any form of malice, which is interesting. Sometimes it's one of the things that causes a problem. I thought it was hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth watching his show if you get the chance. I'm going to try and watch it.
It looks amazing, actually. I looked at the website.
Yeah. It looks really interesting.
I like that. I really like that.
Thank you. Thanks. So his T-shirt was kind of really something that stood out. Preserve our environment, the Caribbean Conservation Association. Even though it's just another example of colour, I suppose the vibrancy that I've discussed is evident in his T-shirt as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then so Kitty, really religious woman. Like my mom's really religious, and she's actually a friend of my mom's. She came over in '64. Came over to my future husband. Came here on the first day of August. It was warm. I was pregnant by September, so I suppose some of the the kind of stereotypes about immigrants coming over and breeding at a rapid rate was probably too true in her case. I didn't do much work. Yeah, they did. I'm one of 9, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So where am I? I didn't do much work in the beginning because I stayed at home. I was around a lot of Jamaican people. When I came over, my landlord was Jamaican. So that's another point that I think is interesting because today,
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
yeah, we still get people speaking about kind of a lack of integration today, don't we? And it does happen a lot, to be honest. People move over, but kind of stay in their communities. It usually takes a while for the
It does, but also you don't get the stories. Actually, there were Jamaican entrepreneurial people. It's usually like, you know, it was some dodgy white landlord. You don't get the actually it's people who did actually make a living pretty successfully quite quickly. I mean, to be a landlord back then can't have been easy if you were Jamaican in Britain.
Exactly, you're right. So, I mean, going back to the first set of images that I showed you, I mean, those people were kind of a success story of Wimbush. So the husband's a professor.
Right. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So you're right. It's interesting. There's quite a wide variety of people. So this lady ended up being a nurse. She still lives in the same area she moved to in '64. There's good and bad with all people. So people that you don't expect to be nasty, and they are, but in a sly way. And then she started speaking about Jesus. I think the younger generation that moved with us suffered a lot. I was in my 20s and we had a community from the church. I think we stuck together more than now. It's every man for himself now. So that's one of the locations that I've used to find a lot of the Windrush people. I'm not religious, to be honest, but the church.
So does she know your mum?
She met my mum through the church as well. I've stepped back and taken a picture here, and I know typically you want to kind of fill the frame, but it's kind of more again about me getting in the carpet and the surroundings. Which
no, I like it too. I like the composition of this one. Just Richard, are they all from? So I know there's one guy from Derbyshire. You said, is that right? Are they all from Ryan? I'm guessing you're in Birmingham.
Most of them, are from Birmingham. There's Nottingham, Derby, and then the rest of Birmingham.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'd be happy to travel, but I just haven't been able to yet. I've kind of people are so they're just really apprehensive to be kind of included in any artwork. I mentioned the images that in most Caribbean households, and that's another example of one that littered throughout them. So I've ended that particular book with just a write up on some of the background of the Windrush, kind of the opinions of people. David Lammy called it a national disgrace. Kind of, I mean, Amelia, children, gentlemen, who discusses. Sorry, my daughter's behind.
Here comes a little one.
Are you okay? Let me come back. I'm gonna come out and give you some food in a minute, okay?
You hungry?
If you just wait. Jeez. Say hello then.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hello. What's your name?
What's your name? Amelia.
Amelia.
Yeah.
Hi, Amelia. I'm James.
Surprised the computer's still.
I can feed you.
Go on, go back in the living room. I'm coming in a minute. I don't think she's ever had the computer talking to her before.
Oh, freaked out.
So yeah, I think that's the last page of no, there's 2 pages, but it's just a breakdown of the impacts of the culture, some of the discrimination encountered, and kind of the upset caused. It's kind of changed because with previous modules, I think is it 701 or 702. There's a write up as well, isn't there?
I can't keep track of them. I mean, there must be in one of them. Yeah.
So I kind of missed out on that opportunity. I kind of probably prefer the write up than the audio presentation, which I'm not too keen on doing. Even though
they're quite hard, aren't they?
Yeah.
They take them quite a bit of time getting done as well.
Yeah, it's good to. So I think that's it for now.
So I mean, I think it's really good. I think, like I said, you know, can you hear me still?
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. I think the whole stuff about the living room is really strong, and now I've seen more of the work. It's a lot stronger.
Thank you.
Really fascinating. I think like you said, doing some of the pictures of actually some of the ornaments as well, or the whatever, you know, things around the living room is really interesting. The other thing I guess is any documentation. I'm going to be prepared to show you documentation from their past.
Yeah.
Like flight tickets.
I've got like passports.
Yeah. Okay.
But not enough. I mean, I'd like to have more.
Yeah.
I've got passports, the naturalization document.
Oh, that's right. Certificate. Yeah.
But yeah, now I think in any future kind of interactions with people, I'm going to make sure that that's kind of also one of the focal points, just to give it a variety.
Yeah, and also because actually it's such a powerful subject, it's quite interesting as well as a viewer to see it's really interesting to see their personal artifacts. That's true around the house, but actually it's quite interesting to see their documentation. Doesn't have to be loads, I don't suppose, but I mean, what do you feel like you need to do next?
To be honest, now when I think about it, I have quite a few images of people, and I was thinking about still getting another couple of people, but then moving away from that and taking pictures of the things surrounding those people.
I think I would agree with you on that one.
So interiors, buildings, perhaps even the church.
That would be amazing if you do that.
So it's just now ensuring that people are kind of confident enough to allow me to do that. People are really, untrustworthy, not untrusting of me.
I think it takes a long time as well to, it's good that you've got a few people that you maybe can go back to because they trust you. Yeah. But it takes a long time to develop relationships to be able to photograph people, especially as you want to be in their living room, you want to be in their house.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I've got three people I'm working with, and I'm only on the second shoot, or the third shoot with them, and I haven't even asked about going to their houses yet. And that's exactly what I want to do at some point. But I think it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, fantastic. I think you're 100% right. It will take time. It's difficult. You get knockbacks.
Yeah, you do. I mean, if you get a chance to watch the live lecture yesterday with Laura Panak, she took a lot of photographing of people in quite sensitive places in their life. Yeah. And she talked a lot about how she just sometimes it seems to be okay, and then it's not going very well. And she gets worried and a bit concerned. And she's a really respected photographer. She's won loads of awards, and she round and round. And she said most of the time she feels a bit anxious that actually she's not really getting anywhere with the work, or she's not getting the response from people that she wants. And then when it happens, and that's enough to carry her over.
I apologize about this. My wife's gone out.
You're hungry, Amelia?
Are you hungry? The man speaking to you says, his name's James. Say, are you hungry?
Are you hungry?
No, are you hungry? Say
I'm
yes.
Hungry. I've had my dinner.
James, I'm gonna have to unless you're gonna show me something, go wrap it up. Thank you so much.
It's fine. Seriously, I had plenty of work, plenty of talk yesterday, so that's fine. As long as you've got something out of this, that's
I really appreciate it. How do I access the video? Will you have it or
the video from yesterday.
from today that you just this one?
It should be. Where do they put the videos? They usually send them out. Say, oh, there's now a video of the live lecture that was, 2 days ago. So if you go when you first go onto Canvas, on the side there's usually a list of things to have in the calendar, and sometimes it comes up there.
Okay. Well, I mean, how do I access this session that you've recorded?
Oh, you should automatically get sent an email telling you it's been uploaded.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Richard.
Have a good day. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Amelia. Enjoy your dinner.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
You are currently the only person in this conference.